From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICV PrimeTime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, and I hope you're feeling the same. It was a monster weekend in college basketball this weekend, and boy, oh boy, it is the ball, as they say, but man, it's bad to be a favorite in this one. We got another number 2 seed knocked out. Iowa actually just got beat right now. I think it was 95-80. The finish up on that game, but Oregon is advancing after being in a no contest game on Saturday due to VCU having COVID and things of that nature. So pretty much now we sit here and we see that Oral Roberts has became the Cinderella for the 2021 tournament this year. 2 exciting wins over 2 very good teams, 2 teams with a lot of history in the tournament as well too. First up, it was Ohio State, the number 2 seed, and a lot of people didn't see that coming, especially myself, who had Ohio State actually winning it all. I really liked how this team looked at the end and everything like that, and I thought that they were going to use that Big Ten loss as a motivation, Big Ten championship loss, but it didn't wind up being like that. They actually looked like a very tired team going into that game, and they actually wind up losing that game in overtime. And then came the next game against Florida, who were shooting the lights out. Florida actually was shooting at a 60% clip, and then they kind of just ran out of gas, and then they just lost the game, just straight up. Seriously, in the final minutes, Oral Roberts was the better team, but Oral Roberts has a duo that will go down in NCAA tourney history as one of the best duos you'll ever see in Atmos and O'Banner. These guys went absolutely crazy yesterday. When I go ahead and I look up the stats, it's just like, wow, these guys were just, hey, there's other guys getting a lot of love to get to the NBA and everything like that. But when you look at 2 guys dominate the way that they did against 2 of the better teams in the nation, you better be looking at these guys to be some of your late picks in the draft next year as well, too, because, man, those guys can really play some basketball. And when I look at the stats, O'Banner scored 28. Atmos scored 26. In the first game, they did almost the same exact thing, and they wound up in that spot when they beat Ohio State. They wound up having another great game. They went for 59 in that one and 54 in the last one. So they have a combined together 113 points combined. So, wow. And that's for literally, I think, 60% of the points for Oral Roberts. So this duo right here is something to watch, man. And I look forward to it in the next round as well, too. The second 15 seed to get to the Sweet 16. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about somebody who got really disrespected. Well, it wasn't somebody. It was a few teams. It was 5 teams that were disrespected heavily. And this was the Pac-12 conference. Pac-12, boy, oh boy. Now are 6-0 after the Oregon win. But the disrespect that the Pac-12 caught before we even started this thing. Wow. You know what I mean? The Pac-12 did not have one team in the top 10 this year. And then they literally got a 15-man because Oregon State won as a 5 seed. But, if Oregon State doesn't win the Pac-12 tourney, then they would have been talking about, the NIT and things of that nature. But no, Oregon State just came in and became the hottest team in the nation right now. They went ahead and got a big, nice double-digit win to start the tournament off. And then last night, they just absolutely wired Oklahoma State last night in a great, gallant effort And a lot of people just should be very, very impressed with the way that this the Oregon State team is playing and the way that they pretty much led this conference into the tournament. And then you have UCLA, who's going to go up shortly after my show is over with, about an hour or so after the show, they'll be tipping off. So pretty much there goes UCLA with Johnny Juzang, who's dropped 47 points in the first two games. Only guys to get over 20 points in the first two games as a UCLA player. One's name is Lou Alcindor, and the other's name is Reggie Miller. So pretty much this guy is playing at a high NBA, is playing at a high level right now. And you know what? Johnny Juzang was always a guy with the NBA dreams and things of that nature. So we already know where his destiny lies at. But then there's Jaime Yacline, who's awesome, who's doing a damn good job as well, too. And then, you know what? Colorado played some really great basketball as well, too. And they're trying to get to the Sweet 16. And they probably were the most impressive team out of the Pac-12 because they absolutely dominated a red-hot Georgetown team. So pretty much, man, it is what it is. So there it is, man. I really think that it's just been really good for the Pac-12 this year, and a lot of people have to understand that it's going to be a very, very tough tournament this year. We got a lot of double digits that are going to be in the 16 that are going to be in the next round as well, too. As you know, UCLA Abilene, that game is 11-14, so pretty much there goes another double digit. And then also, you know, you had 3 yesterday get in. And today I think you're probably going to get 2 or 3 or maybe 4 getting into the Sweet 16. So this is going to be a different type of Sweet 16 because you're not going to have – you already have 2 twos out as is. So it's going to be tough. That's all I can say. But all in all, though, the Pac-12 has done its damn job. USC got a big monster blowout win as well, too. And really, none of these games were close for these Pac-12 squads, except for the USC-Michigan State game. But other than that, it's been walks in the park for these squads in a sense. So with that, let's go ahead and get to our next topic at hand, and let's go ahead and get into who went home. Illinois went home. Oh, boy. Illinois went home and got beat up by a team that really, really is a darling of the NCAA, Loyola Chicago. And Loyola Chicago continues their run to the Sweet 16. They look like they're going to be the team that possibly wins this bracket as well, too, because they're playing like a team that was ranked in the top 10 all year. So I'm telling you right now, this has been a really, really, really good season for the Missouri Valley Conference. They've gotten a lot of respect this year with the way that they play. You know, they got 2 teams in, and then they have their best team actually dominating in this tournament as well, too. 2 double-digit wins. And, you know, pretty much Illinois was an utter disappointment. AO, I guess the injury was kind of still lingering a little bit. But, you know, the whole not running up and down the floor, not really showing that much effort, that kind of was questionable in a sense. But, you know, when you're getting beat like that against a team that you're not expected to get beat by, you're going to be up there really doing that. So it is what it is at the end of the day, right? So pretty much, you know, Illinois, they were an utter disappointment, to be honest with you. I thought the game would be close. I had the plus 7.5 on Loyola Chicago, but I thought Illinois would figure out a way to win the game by 2 or 3 points, go on down, you know, have a tough game before they get into the Sweet 16 because they did look like one of the better teams in the nation. I actually had this team going to the Final Four. So pretty much it's very disappointing to see that this team really went out the way that they did, but I think that this team just expected too much too early, and that's why they got put out yesterday. So it is what it is at the end of the day, man. So pretty much Illinois, you're out, first 1 seed out at that. And I think maybe we might lose another 1 seed today as well, too. Gonzaga's having a little bit of trouble with Oklahoma. That was a little expected, but I think that Gonzaga will get it together by the time that game ends. And I think that they'll be actually having I think they'll actually be able to make a nice big run like they've done all season and wind up getting themselves a nice little win there. All right, but we'll have to see. The Oklahoma's hungry. Oklahoma played in the very tough Big 12 that had 3 teams in the top 10 weekly. So we'll have to see. And they were number 7 in the nation at one point as well too. So, it's just a little bit of disrespect by the committee, but it is what it is at the end of the day. All right, so we move on to our next topic. We already know Ohio State got smoked and Florida got smoked, and also Texas got put out as well too. And Texas was a big surprise because you thought Texas was going to be able to do their thing in that game and have a really good one against have a really good game against Abilene Christian, but they absolutely looked terrible in that one. So it is what it is at the end of the day. And look, hey, it's basketball, and the best survival of the fittest. The best team is going to win. It is what it is. All right, so with that, we move forward to our player of the night, and former Laker Brandon Ingram went ahead and scored 30 points yesterday, 6 rebounds, 8 assists as well too. He was able to have a big, huge game against a very good Denver team and get a somewhat of an upset yesterday as well too. I also gave out that ticket yesterday on the dog pick for the plus 200 on New Orleans. They went ahead and took care of their business, winning that game by 5 points, 113 to 108. Brandon was a big part of that, and he had himself a excellent game. So at the end of the day, the Pelicans are getting it together. They look like they can be in position to get to that A seed, but it's going to take a lot of winning and a lot of consistency in winning as well too. So once again, congratulations to Brandon Ingram. Hopefully things keep getting better for the Slim Reaper Jr., because I know that's what they call KD, but I'd much rather call it. But him and KD pretty much very comparable in a sense as well too. But Brandon Ingram carving out his own spot there in New Orleans right now, and it's fun to watch. So the kudos to him, and hopefully he keeps up the great work down there in the Big Easy. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the Lakers. We don't have to talk long. LeBron was lost on Saturday with a high ankle sprain. It looked very serious. LeBron, as you can see, he's in the boot. But you know what? This is just what it is, though. At this time, I think that the Lakers are going to wind up losing LeBron for at probably a month or maybe 3 weeks. It all depends on the recovery and everything like that. LeBron is 36 years old, but he also does put a lot of money into the health of his body as well, too. So I don't think that it should be that big of an issue when it comes down to it. I think that LeBron just really at this point in time just kind of needed the break. But at the end of the day, though, he still was a soldier. But a lot of people thought that he was being kind of like a wimp or something of that nature. But you really don't understand how bad this injury hurts. And this is an injury that sometimes ends guys' seasons that aren't as fit as LeBron. You know what I mean? For LeBron, this is going to be a 3 to 4 week injury. Now AD will have to kind of be rushed ahead on his recovery with his injury. It's going to be tough without these two to win games. That was shown on Saturday and it was shown on Sunday. But the Lakers can make adjustments, in my opinion, and I think that they can wind up winning the games against the bad teams. But against the really good teams, they're going to have trouble without LeBron and AD. But the bad teams, though, they should be able to do what they do their thing. But it's going to be tough right now because the Lakers are in position to still be the number 1 seed, but does it really matter? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just getting the playoffs, you'll still have LeBron and AD, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what seeds you truly are. But the Lakers, I think it won't be that bad from how you see it right now. I think that the Lakers will figure out ways for guys to open up their games a little bit. This is good. This is good for guys to see who actually is worth keeping around in a sense as well, too. So pretty much at the end of the day, the Lakers, I think, will be fine. And I know it's going to be a rough few weeks. And I know that they'll probably be a team that you'll have to pass on betting-wise and things of that nature. But all in all, I think that will be okay. I think that pretty much the Lakers still make the playoffs. AD and LeBron will be there for that as well, too. And we'll just go from there and see how it goes. But the Lakers, it was real rough last night, but it is what it is. This team is kind of in a bad position right now with the injuries to AD and LeBron, but with good coaching and confident players, you can do anything you like. These guys did win a championship as well too, but I know that a bulk of that comes back to AD and LeBron, but still you was a part of a championship team, so you can show those qualities as well too. So that's it for the State of the Lakers for today, and let's go ahead and jump into the 30 teams in 30 days, and we still are in the AL West. And oh boy, this is a team that I'm very fond of. I really like this team. I really liked them last year, and I really like them going into this year as well too. The Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners have a really, really good young team here, and they have a lot of diversity on their team as well too. They have a lot of good athletes. They were 27-33 last year, and they finished third place in the AL West. And this was because they had a great end to the season. They played a great baseball the last 6 weeks of the year and became a very, very dangerous team. And they were able to get big wins in spots that people did not expect them to get those wins in as well too. I think that they can go ahead and go full circle this year. And I think Kyle Seager has the possibility of being one of the top players in the MLB. A lot of years we're always like, well, he's just Corey's brother. But no, Kyle Seager can play just like Corey Seager. So pretty much, man, this right here can be something special. And I think that if Kyle Seager doesn't work out that well with the Mariners this year, or they're still a losing team, the Dodgers need to go ahead and trade for him, put the brothers together. So, but Kyle Seager is the best player on their team. I think that he's going to be able to do some more damage this season and have a really good year. And then they got a decent pitching staff as well too. They got James Paxton there as well coming back. I know he's feeling really good about being back with Seattle as well too. That's how he got his big deal the first time around. So, all in all, the Seattle Mariners should be a middling team, but improved team. And I say this because I have this team going over 72.5 wins. I think that's almost a slap in the face to this team because I think they're an 80-win ball club this year. I know it sounds crazy, but I think that they can win a lot of games this year, and they have a possibility of being a wild card in this AL West and possibly still in the division, even though I did say it should come down to the Angels and the A's. The Mariners could bust the Astros because nobody saw the Astros coming when they became a really good team. So, the Mariners can do the same thing as well too, but we'll have to see though, and they'll have to play to that. They'll have to play to that ability. But at this point in time right now, I do feel like they can get you some big wins on days that people don't expect them to win. And that's it, and that's all. Okay. So pretty much with that, let's go ahead and look at our get a look at HatCLub.com. With any $50 order, you guys will receive 10% off if you go ahead and hit that link in the show description. Once again, this is HatCLub.com, where you can go ahead and get that drip. You can go ahead and get an awesome Seattle Mariners cap. I saw a throwback that I really like a lot as well too. So you guys go ahead and check them out, HatCLub.com. Get 10% off on any $50 order or better. So we will be right back with the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, and this is the Primetime Angles Live.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube. All right, so what's up, world? We are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and let's go ahead and get into the best games of today. And up first, as I said before, we do have Abilene Christian and UCLA going at it. UCLA is going to be a 4.5-point favorite. They've jumped up to a 5, and I think they'll be a 5.5 by the time we get to tip. 6 on some sites and at some casinos as well too, so be ready for that. So Abilene Christian and UCLA, boy oh boy, this should be a really good one. And I think that when it comes down to it, you have two teams here that can go ahead and make sure that they get even further. The expectations were that a team like UCLA would probably be out by the time that they got to the Michigan State game. Abilene Christian didn't have a chance at all. Everybody had most people had Texas moving along, unless you went to Abilene Christian. So pretty much you have to understand that, these two teams are winding up in a place where in a matchup that we've only seen so many times here in the NCAA. But usually this does favor the team that's like the 11th seed, and if they're in a better conference, then they should probably be the winner. But a lot of people do like Abilene Christian today to go ahead and get another upset over UCLA. But honestly, I don't see that happening. I think that UCLA will be into this game. They get to wear the white jerseys today as well, too. And so I think Johnny Juzang has another big game today, and I think Jaime Joaquin has another big game today as well too. But expect some things from Tiger Campbell as well. So there it is, Abilene Christian and UCLA, and 4.5-point spread. I would say that this could be some good money for you if you go the way of Westwood with the Bruins. So there it is with that, and we move forward to our next game, and our next game is going to be Michigan and LSU. Michigan, the 1 seed. LSU, the 8 seed. LSU had a monster blowout against St. Bonaventure's, who was seen as one of the better 9 seeds in the tournament as well, too. They were the A10 champions as well, and a lot of people had some faith in St. Bonnie's, but LSU still was seething from a bad loss in that SEC championship game. So they come back around, and they absolutely smoked that St. Bonnie's team. Now, Michigan, their game went the way it was supposed to go. Nice little blowout, you know what I mean? They win by 24 points, whatever, and they get themselves a nice, good win there. But all in all, though, Michigan knows what time it is. They know that this is the game right here. The first game was a tune-up. This game right here is the game that will define the rest of their tournament. If they can get past LSU with the way that their bracket kind of fell apart in a sense, I would say that Michigan would be smooth sailing to the title, to the Final Four now. Before, when we started the tournament, this seemed like it was going to be a very tough bracket in a sense, but it's tough. But there's a lot of the smaller teams winning in this conference. So that's in this region. So all in all, I think what happens here is that we have Michigan probably running away with this one, but LSU is going to be game in this one as well too. But we'll see how it shakes out. I really do like Michigan a lot in this game moving forward, and I think that this will wind up being one of our better games of the day as well too. Now let's move on to the next game, and our next game is going to be Florida State and Colorado. Florida State is the 4, and while Colorado is the 5. And this is a 1.5 on the spread as well, too. It's hard to tell who's going to win this game, but McKinley Wright is an absolute monster. That kid went absolutely crazy against Georgetown. But how about Jabari Walker, the son of Samaki Walker, having a big-time game, hitting 4 threes in the first half of that game against Georgetown. Now, if he can take that hot shooting into this game tonight, and McKinley can play the way that he's been playing the last, whole season, because he was the Pac-12 Player of the Year, then I think they'll wind up having a pretty good game against a very helter-skelter Florida State team. Now, if Florida State shows up and has their athletes out and they're playing with reckless abandon in a sense, they will win this game. But this is going to be a toss-up in a sense, and I think Colorado does have a bit of an edge here. They have a couple more upperclassmen, and I think that just pretty much they're going off the high of, pretty much the Pac-12 just running things in this tournament. So we'll see how it shakes out. Florida State, Colorado, this could be one of our better games of the day. We'll see how it goes. But I think I have an answer for you guys when we get to talking tickets when it comes to this game as well, too. All right, let's go ahead and get into the final important top game of the day. And, oh, yeah, Kansas Rock Chalk Jayhawk going against the men of Troy, the USC Trojans. So this one's going to wind up being a very even matchup. You have Evan Mobley, considerably one of the top players in the nation. He's probably going to be a top 3 draft pick next year as well, too. He was the Pac-12 Player of the Year and the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year as well, too. So this guy is very versatile, and there's a lot of eyes on Evan Mobley as well, too. And there's a lot of people who are pining for a USC upset because they just don't believe in Kansas. Well, listen to me. I think Kansas has gotten into their groove somewhat. I think Kansas had a lot of bad losses to start the year off, and then once they didn't have to worry about winning the Big 12 and just moving along with their season, they became a much better team. And at this point in time right now, they have played to a very good – they've lathered up very well to get into this tournament. And I think by just having your coach, Billy Self himself, that he's going to put you over the top in this spot against USC tonight. I don't think USC's coach is just that is really at the end of the day, I don't think that he's a good coach, but I don't think that he's that seasoned yet when it comes to the tournament. I know he had a good run with Florida Gulf Coast, and he had a good run a few years back with SC as well too. But I just think this matchup will be a bit too much for him, even though a lot of people do feel like it is split down the middle. I think that Kansas, with them playing which I feel them playing their best ball of the year, they should be able to go ahead and get a good win over this USC team, but it's not going to be easy though. All right, so there it is. There it is. Let's go ahead and get a quick preview of the Sweet 16, and this is going to be the Midwest region, and you got Baylor, number one, and you have Villanova, number 5. I think this right here with the -6.5, as with Baylor being the favorite in this game, I think honestly what happens here is that Baylor will wind up winning this game. I know Villanova is tough, and Villanova has won 2 titles in the last 5 years as well too. And that's one thing you do need to look at. But I truly do feel the winner of this game most likely makes it to the Final Four as well, too. So Baylor, Villanova, get your seatbelts ready. This is going to be a wild one. Let's move on to our next game. And our next game is going to be Arkansas. Whoopee, suey. And they're going against Oral Roberts, and that's not a misprint. Oral Roberts is in the Sweet 16, and Arkansas is an 11.5-point favorite going into this game. I got really excited from what I saw with Arkansas, but I'm saying to myself, if they have guys stick around and come into play next season, you know what I mean, they'll be a top 5 team in the nation, and they'll find themselves right in position to be in the national championship if they keep some players around and then add some pretty good freshmen. But we know that guys are going to probably want to run to the NBA. But I think Arkansas has a strong chance to just go ahead and end the season at Oral Roberts. But then you tell yourself, no, Oral Roberts isn't playing like your regular 15 seed. Oral Roberts is playing like a team that really belongs in the tournament. Like if they were a 7 or an 8 or a 9 or a 10, not a 15. Because a 15 usually is pretty limited, and they're a team that they barely let into the tournament. Oral Roberts is a team that played great basketball throughout the season and then found themselves in a tournament with other great teams, meaning their conference tournament, and they still were able to muscle out wins, and they know how to win these close games. When you know how to win these close games, getting blowouts doesn't really matter. You just know how to win the chess match. So we'll see how it goes. It should be a really good game, but I think Arkansas will put it together to get themselves a big win. And that's it. And that's all for our CBB talk for today. And pretty much with that, you guys already know. You guys go ahead and check out Paramount Plus. You guys go ahead and put in the promo code VSX, and you guys will be able to receive this for $9.99 a month. Or you guys can go ahead and put in the other promo code, Paramount Plus itself, and you guys can go ahead and get yourself Paramount Plus for $49.99 for the whole year. I'm telling you, it's an awesome package. They got all the fun shows on there from back in the 90s. It looks like they're going to be showing all the real worlds from all that. So I saw today that they have Real World Hawaii up there and all that good stuff, man. And I know, and just pretty much a lot of things that we all grew up off of. You guys have to understand, in the streaming world now, everything's not going to be on Netflix anymore. Everything's not going to be on Hulu. These big movie and entertainment companies have finally figured out that they need to just go ahead and make their own streaming services, and they own most of the content that these people want to go ahead and actually give out to give out. So why not just do it yourself? And after 20 years, they finally get the point. So pretty much get Paramount Plus. They're going to have all the great Paramount stuff on there, and you guys will not regret it. It's a good offer, and it's a good little buy here, okay? So with that, we'll be right back. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right, we are back with the Premier Sports Betting Show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and this is the Primetime Angles Live. And let's get into the NBA Monday preview. And our first game, Hornets and the Spurs. Hornets coming into this game as a 5-point dog, and then you got a over/under 221.5. Now the Hornets, little bit of misfortune for the Hornets right now. Everybody's favorite rookie, LaMelo Ball, fractured wrist, will probably miss the remainder of the season. So once again, you can go ahead and mark off LaMelo Ball tonight from being in this game against the Spurs, a team that's actually been playing some really good basketball as of late. And, they have another good spot here with the -5 and everything like that. And then you have the over/under at 221.5. The Hornets can score. The Spurs can score as well too. So we'll see how it goes. But I think that what happens here is that the Spurs should have a really good game tonight. And let's just go from there and see how it goes. Let's see how this game shakes out. It's one that's really kind of tough to call, but I'm going to lean towards the home team here. So let's see how it shakes out. Let's see how it goes, and we move from there. All right, so pretty much we have our next game, which is going to be the Jazz and the Bulls. The Bulls coming in as a +9 dog, and the over/under 228.5 tonight as well too. And this game right here will become pretty much a game that you have a team in Utah that says that's was hot, but they've cooled off. Let's be honest about that. They've cooled off, and they've cooled off immensely. And pretty much here, what you can say is that you have a Bulls team that's very inconsistent when it comes to winning. But it seems like they play up to all the best teams in the league. And today, I assume that could be the case as well, too. So when I look at this game, I think to myself that the Bulls should be in it. But then I say to myself, Utah could easily go ahead and get a quick run going early in the game and not look back. But I think at the end of the day, though, the Bulls, with this type of big spread and them coming off of a nice win last night against the Pistons, they can go ahead and cover the +9, but we will have to see. All right, let's move forward, and let's go ahead and talk about our next game. And our next game is going to be the Pacers at the Bucks. Giannis is out tonight as well, too. So expect that spread to dip down a little bit. I have it at 5.5 right now. And then you have an over/under 229.5. Now, you do have a team in the Pacers who have won their 2 games in a row against a very, very good Miami team who's rising in the ranks as well, too, as we speak. But they actually beat them twice in a row in Miami. So that's a nice sign to say that the Pacers have kind of gotten out of their funk that they were in as well, too. Then we have an over/under 229.5. And this was actually a 231 at first, but it's dropped down since pretty much knowing that Giannis is going to be out. So when we look at this game, I say to myself, it doesn't really matter if Giannis is out. They built the team to be able to win without Giannis as well, too. So we're going to see how it shakes out. We're going to see how it goes in this division rivalry game. But all in all, though, I think that this game does wind up going to the Bucks, who have had the Pacers number all season long. All right, so we move on to our final game. Our final game is going to be this one. Well, actually, we got 2 more games to go. I'm so sorry about that. We have the Celtics at the Grizzlies. The Celtics coming in this one as a dog, but a slight dog. You got the Grizzlies playing some of their best basketball this season right now. John Morant is playing out of his mind right now as we speak. So pretty much the Celtics and Grizzlies meet up. And I think what happens here is that you could get a possible upset from the Celtics because they are plus money tonight. And then you could also get a nice win from the Grizzlies as well, too. So pretty much when I look at this, I think Boston needs it a lot more. And Boston's actually been stepping it up the last few games as well, too. And I see it's such a short line. I think Boston actually runs away with this thing. So it is what it is. I'm taking the Celtics as the dog of the day at plus 120. I know it's not much, but still, you know what I mean? We can go ahead and we can make some money off this thing. And it's plus money, and let's see how it goes. I think that the Celtics are the better team, so why not? All right, so we move forward. Let's talk about our final game now. It's going to be the Hawks and the Clippers. And the Hawks and Clippers are both going in different directions, but the Hawks have won their last 8 in a row. Nate McMillan has done a great job with these guys as well, too. So what we're going to do here is, I would say, scoreboard watch, because the thing is, this is just a game that you don't know where it's going to go. And scoreboard watching seems like it's the best thing to do in this spot. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over under 222.5, and pretty much we can go ahead and I'll make that the over here tonight. I think that Trey gets his points. I think the Clippers get their points as well too, and I like the over in this spot. So there it is for the NBA Monday preview. And with that, we're going to take one more quick break. But before we take that break, you guys check out Fubo TV. You guys can watch all these great games I'm talking about on Fubo TV. They have the NFL Network, the NBA TV. They have the MLB TV. They got the NHL Network. They got FS1, FS1 2, all the ESPNs as well. And for my horse lovers, they got TVG and TVG2. So you can't miss with a package like Fubo TV. They only charge $55 a month, and you guys can get 7 days free on me by pressing the link in the show description. So once again, you get 7 days free on me in the show description link. All right. So with that, I want you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we're back, and here we are in the final stretch of the show. And let's go ahead and get into talking tickets. All right, so up first, we got the primetime pick 6. I got the -5 on UCLA. I love them today. Honestly, I think they rout Abilene Christian in this spot today, but we will see how it shakes out. Abilene Christian is not to be overlooked either, but I do love UCLA here with the -5. Let's see how it shakes out. Let's see how it goes. Now we got Ohio. And I really do like Ohio in their spot today as well, too. I think Ohio does get the cover here. I don't say they get the win, but they get a nice cover here. But they can beat Creighton as well, too. So you can mark them down for the money line as well, too. But I really, truly think that Ohio is just a really good cover today. I think that this game comes down to the final seconds, and it comes down to the final bucket as well, too. So +5 on Ohio. And then we move on, and we have Michigan, -5. I think Michigan keeps it rolling against this LSU team. I think that they'll figure out a way to win this game by 6 or better. But I think that really they know what time it is. They're going to have to send a message with a nice little blowout of LSU. And so the people siding with Michigan can go ahead and breathe a sigh of relief and not have to worry about them covering by 6 or better. So there it is, -5 with Michigan. Let's see how it shakes out. And as I said before, love Colorado. Not going to stop loving them. Going to take them with the +100 today. That's even money. And then we have number 6, Alabama. Alabama's going against Maryland today, and I think that Alabama might be the easiest call of the day. Maryland's a really good team, but I think Alabama has this new little glow about them, and they're a special little team, and they're looking real Final Four worthy right now as well, too. So I'm taking the -6 on Alabama. Let's see how it shakes out. And then last but not least, we got Kansas money line +100. I think they go ahead and they continue their winning ways against USC. Last time they played USC, it was an absolute mess. They absolutely crushed them. So I think that's what happens again in this spot. So let's see how it shakes out. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Kansas here with the even money +100. All right, so let's get into the NBA Super High Five for the night. And the NBA Super High Five, we got the -5, but that's going to be on the Spurs. So once again, that's going to be the Spurs tonight, not the Hornets. And then we have the +9 on the Bulls tonight. Then the Celtics tonight are +120. And then also we have the under 230.5 with the Celtics and the Grizzlies. And then the over 225.5 with the Hawks and the Clippers. So once again, that's going to be our play tonight. Spurs -5, not the Hornets. Bulls +9, Celtics +120 is the dog of the day. Under 230.5 with the Celtics and the Grizzlies, and the over 225.5 with the Hawks and the Clippers. And on both the cards, single what you like, 29-1 on this bad boy. Let's see how we go. All right, so with that, you guys can go ahead and wager at where the world bets at. And that's going to be UWager. You guys go ahead and put in the promo code VSXPOP, and you guys will receive up to 50% of a match deposit. So that means that when you guys go ahead and put up $250, they'll match it with $125 in a free play. So you guys can go ahead and play this ticket or play both tickets and then see what you can do. We missed the dog pick 4 by a game yesterday, and we missed the primetime pick 6 by a game yesterday as well too. So eventually, probably today, we'll go ahead and we'll hit that bad boy. So you don't want to miss out on it because it's still some great value out there on both of those tickets, okay? So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And once again, as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and there is no me without you, okay? So pretty much I'll be back tomorrow at the same time, and we'll be going over some more CBB, NBA, MLB, and we'll talk a little bit of boxing tomorrow as well, too. So make sure you tune on in, okay? And this is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production,